Good morning, everybody. Thanks for joining us this morning for this session of Habitat Learn and Ask. My name is Peter Brown. I work at Habitat Charlotte Region in the marketing department, and I'm here with Caitlin this morning, and we are excited to learn a little bit more about the ReStores. She's going to answer a bunch of questions I have teed up for her. We really don't have any kind of PowerPoint or anything, so it should make this pretty easy. It's more of an interview style event that we have for today. Additionally, you'll notice that we have a chat on the little toolbar that's floating on the right hand of your screen. We're going to have some time probably at the end of this for your questions. So if you have any questions, you can pop them in the chat, and then when we get to the end of our conversation, we can ask those questions. I'll see them on my screen, and I can ask Caitlin to respond. So without further ado, Caitlin Greenwell, why don't you introduce yourself? Tell us what you do at Habitat and maybe how long you've been with Habitat Charlotte Region.
Sure. I am Caitlin Greenwell, as Peter said. I am the VP of Retail Operations, which means I oversee our 7 ReStore locations, as well as our procurement, processing, our decon department, and the cafe and books department as well. I've been on board for about 3 years. And since I joined on, we went from 4 stores to 7. So I oversee the entire retail arm of the organization.
So Caitlin, speaking of those 7 stores, can you tell us where those stores are located in the Charlotte region?
Sure, we've got 7 in total. So we've got Pineville, Wilkinson, Wendover, University, Cornelius, Mooresville, and Statesville. So we stretch all the way from Pineville to Statesville, so Mecklenburg and Iredell.
That's great. And so as you guys notice, we also have the web address for the Charlotte Region ReStores listed on the graphic on the right. That way, if you have, it's a great resource and definitely has the locations and maps and stuff like that there if you're interested in figuring out which store is closest to you. And so, it's been a bit of a wild ride for the last year, to say the least, for everybody. But you've had to scale back some hours in the stores, but I think recently it seems like all 7 stores are now back to somewhat normal hours. Can you kind of speak to that and let us know when they're open?
We went through a process of slowly reopening the stores for a number of reasons. We wanted to get our largest capacity stores open so that we could start seeing the community again and slowly working back to a normal operating schedule, while also maintaining all of our safety protocols in order to keep both our staff, volunteers, and our customers and donors safe. As of this day, we now have all 7 stores open from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. So they're open 6 days a week at this point, and that is all 7 locations, whereas previously we only had 4 locations open 6 days a week. So you're welcome to come into any of the 7 stores at this point and shop between the hours of 9 and 4.
And then the day you're closed is Sunday, correct?
We are always closed on Sundays. We do have, holiday closures from time to time, but you can always check our social media or the website to see when those days are if you're coming through on a holiday.
That's great. So we are not out of the woods with COVID, and I know that we've had a lot of loosening of some of the precautions here in North Carolina from the governor. But can you let us know, if folks are wanting to come, what to expect in terms of safety, and then maybe what's the expectation for the shoppers as well?
We are still practicing, obviously, social distancing, 6 feet separation. We've got sneeze guards at the registers, and we have a disinfecting schedule to where those guards, anything that is a high touch area, bathroom handles, doorknobs, all of those items are sanitized regularly throughout the day. All employees are required to wear masks. We do require masks or face shields for our customers to come in and shop. It is a safety piece. If you are unable to wear a mask or a face shield, we are happy to shop for you. Just let us know what you're looking for. We'll go through the store, send you some pictures of what we've got, or bring the items out to you depending on size, so that you're still able to get the experience of the ReStore without, having to enter the store itself. We do also have a protocol with all of our donations that they are sanitized when they come in. So we have disinfectants for both hard surfaces and soft surfaces to ensure that any item that we're putting out on the sales floor has been properly sanitized upon donation.
That's great. So the safety, very important, and I'm glad to hear that you guys are kind of going that extra yard. So really, and kind of to transition, because the title of this Habitat Learn and Ask was really around sustainability. We're entering, I guess, Earth Month, the month of April. We've got spring. It's springing outside, so everything is starting to turn, which is great, and the weather is really nice. And so really talk a little bit about product donations, because without those donations, it seems like we wouldn't have ReStores. And maybe if you can first, maybe the first part we'll just stick with, like sort of what the process is, what types of products you're looking for, maybe some things that we don't take, just so folks know, and then we can talk a little bit more about the green part in the next question.
Yeah, there's a lot of components to the donation piece. As you said, we kind of do have to break it out because it seems so straightforward, but there are a lot of components to it. The ReStores rely heavily on donations. What some people don't know is that we do have a small selection of brand new products as well. However, the bulk of the items that you find within the ReStores are donated products. So we rely on the generosity of the community in order to supply and provide the items that you shop for when you enter the store. We do local pickup. So if you have large items, you can actually call our donations hotline. We can coordinate a pickup so that you don't have to try and get a couch in your sedan. We also can, if you have questions about what we accept, you can go online or call our donations hotline. But we do have a full list of what we do and don't accept. The best things that we get in, the things that we love to see are furniture items, dining room tables, couches, bed frames, things along the lines of that. There are biggest sellers. So those are some of the things that you'll see the most within the stores are those items. We also take a lot of house decor, paintings, dishes, all kinds of things. That's the fun of a ReStore, right? Is that you never really know what's going to come in. The requirements that we do have for the items are that we need them to be in working condition. So we don't take broken items because we don't have the capacity to repair items, which is actually one common misconception about the ReStores, is that we will take broken items and fix them. And unfortunately, we just don't have the capacity to do that. We try to bring in items that don't have nicks, dings, scratches, tears, pet damage, smoke damage, anything along the lines of that, because our priority is not to just be your basic resale shop, but to be that resale shop that when you go in, you know you're getting a quality product as well. Yes, they're secondhand, but they're in good shape. You're getting something that is helping the community, but you are also receiving a quality product to be able to put in your home. We get a wide variety. Sometimes we get new items from businesses. Sometimes we get really high-end donated items. So you, again, never know what you're going to come into. You could walk in and find something from Pottery Barn. You could walk in and find, something donated from Lily Pulitzer. You never know what's going to be in there. So again, there's a lot of misconceptions around the ReStore as far as what we carry. But we always try to lean on the side of having really high quality, in good shape items so that we know what's going home with you is a good item.
That's great. So some of the things, like you don't accept clothing and things of that nature, correct? Because I know that's
Correct,
something that sometimes we get those dropped off, but that's something we don't really do anymore.
Right. Yeah. And we do work with a lot of other nonprofits in the area. So from time to time, if you're making a donation with us and it's something that we can give and already have a partnership with another nonprofit that needs those items, a lot of times we'll try and get them to the appropriate nonprofit that can benefit from those items, or we'll at least give you a suggestion on where you can go in order to make the most of your donation.
Cool. That's great. Okay, so we take all of these products in as donations. They don't end up in the landfill then. So what kind of impact do you think that has here in the Charlotte region in terms of reusing things and giving them a second life?
We do our absolute best to divert as much from the landfill as possible. So, and again, that's the reason that we are looking for those no rips, no stains, no tears. We appreciate all the donations that come through. But unfortunately, if items are left on our dock over the weekends or they are, damaged when we get them, we do try to, like I said, work with other nonprofits. But all in all, with all the items that we resell on a yearly basis, we divert about 1,100 tons of product from the landfills. So we make a huge impact by being able to give a second life to those items, which is why it's so important to just, instead of doing a bulky pickup on good items, send them our way, schedule that pickup with us so that we can help give those items, like you said, a second life instead of finding them in the landfills.
That's great. And also, just because you mentioned calling the hotline for the product donations, you can also go on the website and submit a pickup request there as well, correct?
Absolutely. Yeah. And our donations coordinators will get back with you and make sure that we find the right date and time that works for you.
That's awesome. Tell me something else that we do in terms of, there's a lot of folks that are doing home remodeling and a lot of kitchen and bath remodels, especially in the last year. It seems like it's been quite a big thing. Tell us a little bit about this service that we have where we can play a role in that process for homeowners that are doing those types of remodels.
Well, when people do their home remodels, a lot of times they don't think about it, right? They bring in the contractor and say, this is the new kitchen that I want, let's get it installed. And the contractor says, perfect, I'll take care of it, no problem. You see that contractor remove those cabinet sets, and a lot of times those are going to end up in the landfill. When they're taking those cabinets out, their mindset is to get your new set in and get it ready for you. What we do is kind of play the middleman there. When you're getting your cabinets remodeled and having some pulled out, you could actually give a call to our deconstruction program. We've got a skilled team that'll come in and carefully remove your old cabinetry, and put it within the ReStores for resale. So we actually do resell those cabinet products, which, I mean, we do over 400 jobs a year typically. So it's a big program. They are very skilled and careful and make sure that they're safe and courteous to your home as they're removing those. But then you can actually use that as a tax deduction instead of seeing those cabinets end up in the landfill. Maybe upgrading, but somebody else, your old cabinets could be a huge upgrade to them.
Yeah, absolutely. And they don't get smashed by a sledgehammer, I suppose.
Right.
Some of the many home improvement shows, they end up doing that to them. So I've got another kind of a new thing that again, along the lines of sustainability, there's a partnership that you're just developing with another local nonprofit here in the Charlotte region that helps families gain access to technology called E2D. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Yeah, we just started working with E2D and kind of working this partnership. One of the items that we used to get in a lot or have requested for us to take as a donation was electronics, a lot of laptops and things along the lines of that. And again, we're not really good at getting those items refurbished and out on the floor and having the confidence that they were done properly. So we haven't historically sold laptops, but we wanted to find a solution for that program. What if we had laptops coming in, what could we do with them? And so that's where E2D came in, is we're going to start accepting laptops so that we can give them over to E2D, who then does refurbish them, rehab them, take parts from items maybe that don't work and put them in that do. So we'll be taking laptops regardless of if they work or not, regardless of if they have a charger or not. All laptops will be passing over to E2D so that they are able to supply them to families that may be in need of that technology.
That's great, and it also keeps them out of the landfill if they have some useful life.
Exactly.
And I know
like cell phones.
On
You
the other
always
side of our
find
business,
them building.
on the other side of our business, on some of the families that we are in homeownership program with benefit from that because they do receive a low-cost laptop that they can use for their kids or something. So that's that's very cool.
Yeah, you never know. Your second life for your old laptop may be with a Habitat homeowner and being able to be used to have a child in that family access online school.
That's awesome. So tell us a little bit, like what has business been like? Has it been slow? What's been going on sales-wise, and are there any challenges you guys are facing just in light of kind of where we are.
Yeah, the generosity of the community has been amazing. We have had a ton of foot traffic, a lot of the community coming in and paying us a visit. So we have been very busy since we reopened. You know, it's incredible to see how many people come out and see us and shop with us and are helping us fund the homes that you see in our area. So yeah, very, very busy. One of the things I will say is one way that people don't realize necessarily that they make an impact when you're talking about making a donation. A lot of people think first, you know, can I make a financial donation? It doesn't always have to be financial. ReStores operate heavily off of donated items, and those items then are sold and make a financial contribution into the organization. So it's the way around giving, you know, physical funds, which we always, you know, have a need for. If you're unable to do that and you need a sofa, you need a dining room table, you need something for your home, by making that purchase, you're essentially making a donation as well into the organization, because by purchasing, those funds go back into the organization. Because of how busy we are in need of donations. So those who shop with us regularly, you know that the stock changes constantly. We sell items very quickly. You know, that's the big thing about the ReStores, is that they're a treasure hunt, but you can't leave that treasure sitting for very long because it'll be gone by the time that you come back. We really could use those donations though. So for those of you that are regular shoppers or have never been in a ReStore or have those items to give, if you could tell your neighbors, tell your friends, tell your HOAs, we can do, you know, neighborhood pickups and things like that. But we need those donations in order to keep the product fresh, so that every time you come in, it's the standard ReStore where you see something new, and we can continue to fund building some houses in the community.
That's great. I know personally, like if I show up at like the Wendover ReStore on a Monday, it's like Saturday is the big day. Like a lot of stuff moves out the door over the weekend. That's great. So just, and you touched on this, like, you know, those sales generate income for the affiliate. You know, can you kind of give us an idea, like on an annual basis, what are the the proceeds after, you know, obviously your expenses and all that are factored up, but how much, like how many Habitat homes would the ReStores kind of fund annually, would you say?
Typically, you know, we just joined in, so Mecklenburg and Iredell, Charlotte, and our towns joined together. So now we went from 4 stores to a combined 7 stores. So we don't have a whole historical data, but on average, you're probably looking between 15 and 20 homes now having the 7 stores joined together.
That's a big impact. That's a big part of, you know, big chunk of the total homes that Habitat Charlotte Region will build on a yearly basis. So that's amazing. So I don't think people realize that as much, you know, that impact. That's very cool. Okay, so let's switch gears because we haven't talked about this yet, but tell us a little bit about Julia's Cafe and Books. Just what are they and where are they, and what's so cool about Julia's Cafe and Books? You've got a dog that's barking.
Excuse me. Working from home, you know, it's always a joy. So Julia's Cafe and Books is really a unique program. So we have one of the only cafe in the nation. So it's very unique to Charlotte, very unique to just our community in general. A lot of people come through and we'll do, you know, book clubs or grab a latte while they're in there. So very, very unique, really cool. So if you ever are in the Wendover area, our cafe is housed out of our Wendover location. And we have a full service coffee bar. So a lot of people don't realize that's tucked in there along with our bookstore. So every store that we have, all 7 stores, have a book section within them. And we process over 600,000 books per year. So wow. Books are processed and they're either put on our online store, so you can actually look for our online store on Amazon, and if you're looking for a particular book, we have hundreds of them listed. Book Builders is who you're looking for. And then we have all the ones in store. So we've got anything from your regular high volume paperback and hardcovers. So you will see those in there. So some of the biggest authors that are out there you'll find listed in there. And then again, we do have some specialty books. So from time to time, we get some really wonderful donations of very special copies, first editions or signed copies or what have you. And so you have to be on the lookout for those as well. We usually will pull those and display those separately just so that they don't get lost in the shuffle. But we really never know what we're going to get in. We've come across family albums and yearbooks that are extremely old. We get some really wonderful things in. Sometimes we have to re-find the owners and make sure they get returned because they were just accidentally in the box of books. But again, sometimes you find some real treasures in there, first editions or signed copies. But it's a great item. Like I said, we process over 600,000 books a year.
That's again, getting back to sort of the circular economy and sustainability. That's a lot of books to keep out of the landfill as well. So that's amazing. And also, Julie's is just kind of a cool, like the vibe there is neat. And they've just reopened up the little loft where you can go up and chill and read your book and drink a coffee, correct?
Yeah, it's a very eclectic area, really neat. You'll find everything from ladders on the ceiling to hard hats to, just funky lamps and couches and things like that. So we did just reopen our loft area. So we previously didn't have any in-store seating. We do have some limited in-store seating now, and the cafe is open Monday through Saturday from 8 to 4. So while the ReStores are Monday through Saturday, 9 to 4, Julia's is 8 to 4. So you can get your morning.
Cool. Awesome. Well, I think that's all the questions that I had, and we got about 8 minutes left. So I think we can obviously, I don't see any questions being posted, so we can pause for a moment and see if anybody does summon up the energy to post something in the comments in the chat section there. But if not, I want to thank you for attending this afternoon and having this conversation with me and then allowing us to learn a little bit more about all the cool things that are going on in the ReStores.
Sure. Yeah. And I'll put one last plug in here that we did launch an online store. We are still in the process of ramping it up in conjunction with opening the stores to 6 days a week. So if you want to go to charlotteregionstore.org, you can actually find our online store as well and shop through some of those specialty products that we have listed on there.
It's right on the homepage there.
Yep. That is new
Great.
for us.
Awesome.
So brand new.
Well, thanks so much, everybody, for being with us this morning. Have a great rest of your day, and enjoy the beautiful spring weather, and have a great weekend. Thanks so much.
Thank you.